We're going to cut vinyl on a CNC router. The software we're going to use is Aspire, and we're going to use the Gadget tool for a drag knife. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some text to the sticker that I already started. Let's see, there we go. Apply, and we'll move it up. Okay, now we're going to close out of the text. We're going to go up to Gadgets, and we're going to get Drag Knife tool. Select the vector. Okay, we have to highlight our text. We'll go back to Gadgets, get our Drag Knife tool, and we get this screen. My cut depth I normally put for these vinyl stickers is a 0.004. My swivel depth I put at a 0.0035. It has to be below the cut depth. The blade offset, I'm using 0.0185. The blade that I'm using is a 0.0370 diameter. So I cut the diameter in half, and that gives me where the edge of the knife blade is on the cutting blade. For my tool, I do a dummy tool. I go to my tool, dummy end mill, I created it. It's sold, we only use the tool for the zero of the Z and for the center of the tool. Okay, now we're getting an error. Error creating toolpath. Why? When you do text, what happens is you have to right click on the text and convert the text to curves. Now the text is converted to curves. We go back to our gadget, we hit our drag knife tool, we set our depth 0.004. We have our swivel depth is the 0.0035, our blade offset 0.0185, and our dummy tool. On this blade offset, the blade I'm using is the same as a standard roll-in vinyl cutting blade. Okay, there's my tool path. I can go up here, go to preview all visible tool paths. I go to my 3D view, and there's the tool path for what we just entered, and this will work with no problems. We can go back to our 2D view. We can highlight the rest of these. I'll do it with a box and we'll get everything at once. I hold my shift key, I missed 3 letters. We'll get those 3. And I go back up to Gadgets, select my drag knife tool, set my depth for 0.004. My blade offset, my swivel depth, and my tool were still there from the last time. I just created my drag knife tool path. I'm going to do preview all visible tool paths, go to 3D view, and there we go. Easy peasy. Okay, let's go and cut some vinyl. We're going to cut a piece of Oracle 651 intermediate vinyl, and I do this for sandblasting glass. When I set up my machine to cut vinyl, one of the first things I want to do is take the blade out of the drag knife. I push down on the center and it lets the drag knife come down. I pull the blade out, and as you can see, it's very small, and it's held in the drag knife by a magnet. I use a piece of scrap corian as my base, and I zero my z-axis off the top of the material, the vinyl that I'll be cutting. Now I lower my z-axis till it's just touching the corian. Oh, now see, it didn't crash because of the way I have it designed. Now my z-axis, what I'll be doing is raising my z-axis 1/1000th of an inch at a time until my material just barely fits under the drag knife. I'm raising it 1/1000th at a time. Oh, there we go. I'm going to come back down 1/1000th. Come back down a couple more. Oh, I'm tight. I'm going to go up. Right there. My material just fits. It just barely slides underneath the drag. I'll zoom in on it. There's the z-axis. And I'm going to zero it. Now my z is zeroed. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my z-axis, and I'm going to put my cutting blade into the cutter, into the drag knife, and this is a magnet, and it's done. Now when you're cutting the vinyl, we're going to come back down to 0. Now I'm going to come back down to 0, which is okay, I've come down back to 0. I take my material and I slide it under here and I see if I'm cutting my vinyl. Now I don't know if you can see this. Right there, look at that, perfect cut. Okay, I've adjusted the blade with this brass nut and this silver nut so that when I'm zeroed out, that blade gives me a cut where I can just cut the vinyl and not cut into the backing material. I push down on the center and it lets the drag knife come down. I pull the blade out, and as you can see, it's very small and it's held in the drag knife by a magnet. Then I want to zero my machine. Now I'm not really worried about crashing because I have the linear rails and it'll just raise up. So now I'm going to raise this up 1/1000th at a time until it just fits snug. I'm going to zero out my Z, and then I raise my Z 4/1000ths. 1, 2, 3, 4/1000ths, and then I zero my machine again. Now I'll raise my Z, put in my cutting blade, and I'll bring my machine back down to my new 0. So I'm going to do okay, now I'm at my 0. I'm going to slide my vinyl under here and see if it cuts. Doesn't do anything. So now I'm going to go down 4/1000ths and see see if I cut. Right here, it cut perfect. When I set this blade, I set it with this silver and brass knob, and I have to set it so when my machine is at 0, that it cuts through the vinyl but does not cut into the backing. As you can see, that was a good cut. That's at my original 0. So right now my machine is reading minus 4 thousandths because I had raised it 4 thousandths. The reason I raise it 4 thousandths is because I add that 4 thousandths into my program in Aspire, and I use their drag knife program. So now I'm ready to cut a piece of vinyl. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my Z up. I'm going to take my piece of vinyl and I'm going to tape it to the my board here. This is Corian. Program's ready to run. I'm going to raise my Z and away we go. Okay, it just cut sticker 1. The vinyl's cut and I'm done. I just did 4 on one piece. I'll move my machine out of the way. I take a razor blade. I just pick out what I just cut. And this is actually coming out very nice. I do these for my turkey calls. Okay, that shows you what it's like when I do the weaving. Now what I like to do is to roll it so I'm not getting air bubbles. In my application it doesn't really make much matter, but okay, now here's the stickers that I've made. This sticker here, it's printed backwards, and I use it for etching glass on the reverse side, and this is the finished product. This sticker is used on the face of anodized aluminum to etch in a logo and a name. So I don't know if you can really see, but let me zoom in on this sticker, because this is pretty cool. You have to look at how fine the detail is on that foot. Look at the tips of the toes. Very fine cut. Turned out perfect. I'm very happy with the CNC using it with a drag knife to cut out vinyl stickers.